and they sit there and they say, vote for us. What are we voting for? Why are we voting for our death? What is going on? Why? I mean,
is the ANC government benefiting black people in South Africa? Well, the answer is both yes and no, depending on who you ask. Welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katla. Please subscribe and follow, like and comment, share and repost. #SmartVoters, #Citizen Concerned.
And I don't know why people who sit in offices getting salaries think it's okay to play with people's lives and livelihoods. And I want to be open and say this. BIDBZAJJ has owed me money for many, many years. And, you know, because I wanted to take the kids to South Korea, I did work with BIDBZAJJ. But they didn't pay me the money. So they paid a first tranche, and because those monies are always short, you end up taking your own personal money and other monies to pay that money. And they still didn't pay that money. And so I have been running on minus because of BIDBZAJJ. I had a plan to take my child to the sea for Christmas, and I didn't. The people at BIDBZAJJ will send an email to tell you they're not paying you your money that they owe you because they redirected it to awards that are not even happening right now. We have responsibilities. We have children. I don't know how my daughter's gonna go to school. I don't know what I'm gonna pay with because they take the money redirected to our awards that are not happening right now. I know that those awards is exactly the fill up the stadium that is happening right now. They are filling up stadiums. They are not paying us, and then we're supposed to go and vote. I'm sorry. I cannot vote for that. I'm very sorry. I cannot vote for something that is killing me. I'm so sorry.
That's an extract from a video by Sibongile Mngoma, and to say it was sad would be an understatement. I'll leave a link to the full video in the description box below. So for those of you who may not know, Sibongile Mngoma is a singer who has been doing work for the ANC-led government for several years, and like many citizens in South Africa, she was not paid for some of the work that she did, and that's why she ended up doing that live. Many people have done work for the government and have not been compensated for it. Many people, poor people, have no bridges, no schools, roads, or decent housing. So back to our question, is the ANC government benefiting black people in South Africa? Well, if you ask Sibongile Mngoma and many others in the same boat as her, the answer is a resounding no. So who would answer yes to this question? Certainly not these kids who risk their lives by simply making a trip to school.
Xa ndivuka ekuseni ndiya esikolweni ndilala ndinepressure yalamanzi uba ndinepressure uba ndizowela emanzini, amanzi bemaninzi enobungozi. Ndithi ndiyazi uba emanzini win and lose, ndingaphuma ndingaphumi, win and lose ubomi apha le nto, ubomi apha busemngciphekisweni apha indawo esihamba kuyo. Kuyenzeka ngamanye amaxesha mesekubhala exams ndithi ndiyavuka ekuseni besiyobhala nomanzi abegcwele ndingawazi ukubhala ke ngaloo ndlela kuye kuzameka uba
uma kunetha usesikoleni uyocinga uba usenokubuya umlambo egcwele ngexesha uhamba endleleni uba uphawula uba unombilini kuhamba ubucinga umlambo ubuye egcwele.
Lo phakathi emanzini uye woyike cinga uba ndingangaphumi pangaphetsheya ingakwayela amanzi la siyawoyika uba okanye anentwana nazo okanye ezitsala abantu ukhona namanye umntwana wakwatshona apha emlanjeni lo school.
While these and many other children across South Africa have not even been given a safe road on which to travel to go to school, several tenderpreneurs and those closely connected to the ANC will say yes, the ANC government benefits black people. There is a certain group that was organizing Nelson Mandela's memorial service. While the hearts of the nation and the world were mourning for this loved man, their hearts were racing, looking for an opportunity to steal some money and benefit themselves, even if it meant stealing money allocated for the development of the poorest among us, even if it meant using memorial services and a funeral as a guise. Absolutely nothing was off the table for this group of people, it seems. Former Public Protector Bidvest prepared a 300-page report describing how people ignored basic rules, inflated costs to steal about 300 million rands meant for the provision of running water, electricity, sanitation, the replacement of mud schools, and the refurbishment of hospitals.
It's very scary, I must say. It's very concerning, where you'd find an email being sent to ECDC to be told pay 11 million by 11 o'clock, documents will follow, where you'll find a company which has produced t-shirts and they are not delivered, and somebody who signed for them is not even an employee of the municipality. When they investigate or the forensic investigation is done, they discover, no, the person is the working for the supplier. Then the supplier will say, no, I delivered, I didn't find any person, I just dropped them at the taxi rank. We've got instances where millions have been paid and there's no delivery of those particular services. Some quotations were acquired over the phone, or people were told over the phone, pay so and so or transfer so much to somebody else. It's very concerning that we can use a funeral to do such thing. And again, even if officials have done this, but even members of the public, even the very same service providers, how do you charge or escalate prices, or even send an invoice for something you have not delivered?
In Mpumalanga, the cost of the memorial service emptied the Premier's office coffers. The legislature was forced to pass the Mpumalanga Special Adjustment Appropriation Bill. Why? To replace the money. How? By diverting service delivery funds from social welfare services, public works, roads and transport. Imagine, how low are these people willing to go? They use the Nelson Mandela Memorial Service to steal large sums of money over a few days, but the community, the municipality and the province suffered for years after that. Is the ANC government benefiting black people in South Africa? Well, if you ask the Madiba Memorial and Funeral organizers, I suspect you will hear a big fat yes. But if you ask the poor people who were meant to benefit from that 300 million rand, it will be a huge no. In December 2013, the Mpumalanga government alone spent 70 million rand on the Madiba Memorial. Of that 70 million, 40 million was given to Carol Bauer Productions to organize this event. Attendance of the memorial was said to have been given as sandwiches, apples, and cool drinks. Mngoma found that the Mpumalanga office of the Premier irregularly appointed Carol Bauer Productions and ruled that the entire 70 million spent on the memorials was irregular, as Treasury guidelines and the Public Finance Management Act had been breached. In addition, Carol Bauer Productions had never received an official letter of appointment. The following year, in 2014, a 4-member Mpumalanga Cabinet Budget Committee came out to a press conference and insisted the provincial government received value for its money. Regarding the appointment of Carol Bauer, their response was that many service providers were contacted, but Carol Bauer Productions was the only one that had the capacity to pull off this event in a short time using its own resources. They further said capacity was also an important consideration when service providers were selected from the database. You read that statement and it makes sense, doesn't it? They had no other choice but to give that 40 million rand tender to Carol Bauer Productions, right? Until you learn that the committee could not provide the names of the service providers who refused their offer. Bruce Khapane of Zia Penduka Productions, a company with a track record of handling big events in the country, said his company was on the Mpumalanga database but was never contacted. Is the ANC government benefiting black people in South Africa? Well, if you ask Carol Bauer, I suspect you will hear a big yes. But if you ask Bruce Khapane, I suspect you will hear a no. The committee comprised of MECs Madala Masuku, Candice Mashiro Dlamini, Simon Skosana, and Vusi Shongwe, and they sternly defended the 40 million payment to Carol Bauer. In spite of the committee's stern defense, Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane found that then Premier David Mabuza's office did not have measures, including supply chain committees in place to utilize the 70 million rand. And the expenditure was therefore irregular. That is the same David Mabuza who was Vice President of South Africa not so long ago.
And that's why I'm saying you'll find a CFO not finding anything wrong about getting instructions from the ANC and getting instructions. In fact, whilst performing their role, and they are supposed to be following the letter of the law to the T. I think in the report there are invoices which we are showing from with letterheads of the ANC, and monies were paid, but again service was not delivered. The service provider was told, in fact, okay, the expenses which we need to charge, how much? We're thinking about 15 million, where the officials of the municipality were saying maybe we will need 15 million, but then the ANC councillor who was consulted was saying no, 10 million will be fine, and then all of a sudden 10 million is availed, but that 10 million is just paid into that service provider without delivery.
So what was the 40 million rand spent on? We know that the communities in Mpumalanga paid 40 million rand to Carol Bauer, and they were given sandwiches, apples and cool drink, but what else were they given for their 40 million rand? While according to invoices received by media, about 8.3 million was said to have been spent on infrastructure, additional cabling and lighting, audio, videography, technical support, security, management fee, and contingency fee. I don't know about the other 31 million rand. There was no accounting for it. Poof, gone. Maybe the apples, cool drinks, and sandwiches cost 31 million rand. Who knows? That was 2013. Let's fast forward to 2018 and 2019, where her mysterious non-profit company Vanola received 7 million rand from the National Lottery, and neither Vanola nor the National Lottery will say what that money was for. All we know is that the Hawks are investigating. How long? It's been years and nothing has happened. But the Hawks are investigating, you see, gathering evidence. I guess you could say that there are some people who win the lotto without playing, huh? Let's fast forward again to 2013 when Carol Bauer made an emotional speech about how a black girl from Soweto had a license to the first Miss World South Africa pageant. Do you remember that? And just so we're clear, I don't have a problem with a black girl from Soweto getting the license. I don't have a problem with a girl of any race from any background getting anything for that matter. I do, however, have a problem with fellow citizens who want to rise above everyone else using dishonest means, stealing from the poor among us, and then act like they worked hard as a poor black person. Now that is disgusting. I know we see it a lot, but that does not make it any less disgusting. It is very important to recognize that there are black men and women who win and succeed by honest means, without getting tenders that result in the emptying of coffers dedicated for the development of poor communities. We need to blow the horn for those, to elevate those so that young ladies and gentlemen have appropriate role models to look up to. Let us as society stop making money the sole focus, because we communicate to the young among us that money, no matter how low you must go for it, is the goal. Even if it means using deaths and funerals, even if it means stealing from the poor. Instead, let us teach honesty, perseverance, hard work, focus, and drive. True black excellence. I ask again, is the ANC government benefiting black people in South Africa? Well, the answer is both yes and no, depending on who you ask. Ask Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC comrades, their friends, family. They will tell you the ANC is doing a great job. But ask the poor, ask those living in the rural areas, ask service providers that need to bribe before receiving their payments. Their answer will be different from that. Thank you so much for watching. This is Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katla Komwagi. Please subscribe and follow, like and comment, share and repost. #SmartVoters, #Citizen Concerned.